So can anybody share me what is meant by funding agency in the chat box? I haven't got any replies yet. So is the agency which provides funds for research, right? So what kind of agency? That's what I'm asking. Funding agency is the agency that provides funds for research, right? So what kind of agency? Yeah, UGC is a type, right? UGC. So Surya has replied as UGC. Okay. So it is a governmental concern. Yeah. Bhavana has said it can be government. Yeah, it can be government or non-government. So SDST is also an agency. So it is one of the agency. So we are aware of UGC, DST. Then apart from that, any other replies? DRDO, CSIR. Yes, right. So as UGC and DST, DRDO and all, it's not of that much. They don't cover that much big concepts. Yeah, ICSSR, ICMR, MSME, right? Private or public. Yeah, we can tell both private and public as well as. So that's what I said, government and non-governmental. Yeah, right. So nice. So we are aware of certain things. That's nice. So I'll just start with the today's session. So yes, so a funding agency is actually an organization, typically governmental or non-governmental, that provides financial support, resources, or grants to individuals, groups, institutions for projects to facilitate specific objectives or activities. So what kind of objectivities it provides funds? So it may include objectivities such as research, innovation, or some environmental conservation, or some cultural preservations. So like this initiatives that is aligned with the agency's missions or goals. So this is what the funding agency's main duty is there. So how it allocates funds? So what are the various mechanisms it follows to allocate funds? So it allocates funds like some grant programs, like scholarships, like fellowships, contracts, or even like direct funding arrangements. So they often have a specific criteria, and they also have a guideline for eligibility, proposal submission, project evaluation, and they may also prioritize funding for projects that demonstrates innovation, sustainability that gets aligned with this agent's priorities. So in today's session, we are going to explore what are the major national and international funding agencies supporting SDG-based research. So apart from the ones that I'm going to share today, there are many national and international agencies. So the ones that I'm going to share today are the major ones that we can rely upon. So if our proposal is of some good stuff, it is having something, a good content aligned with the SDG goals, we are having lots of chances to get funds from these major national and international funding agencies that we are going to discuss today. Then we are going to understand the various types of funding schemes, because most of us are not aware of what types of funding schemes are available. There are various types of funding schemes, especially provided by UGC and AICTE. So we are going to see what types of funding schemes are available with respect to our disciplines, so that we can perform IDR with respect to SDGs. Then we are going to learn how to align our research idea and the proposal with specific funding priorities. And at last, we are going to discuss about strategies to successfully access competitive research grants. So this is going to be about today's session. Yes. So why funding for SDG really matters? For SDG research, it really matters. So these are some important points that shows that funding for SDG research that really matters. So many of the world's most pressing challenges. So in the previous class, we discussed many important pressing challenges are like climate change, poverty, health crisis, education inequality. So these cannot be addressed by isolated efforts or by single disciplines. So these require complex interconnected disciplines, because these are complex interconnected problems. Therefore, it requires collaborative efforts across fields. So across fields in the sense such as technology, environmental studies, social science, like that. So a structured funding actually ensures such large-scale research is sustainable over time. So giving scholars and institutions the resources to design, implement, and also to evaluate comprehensive solutions. Funding agencies prioritize projects that shows measurable societal impact and contribute to sustainable growth. So funding bodies, that is both governmental and international, align their grants with priorities that show some clear quantifiable outcomes. So this means that the proposals that directly map to one or more of the UN's SDGs are more likely to receive support. For example, a project that proposes to improve access to clean drinking water in rural communities can demonstrate direct communication with specific metrics. So this actually comes under SDG 6, right? Clean water and sanitation. So this ensures that this research will always remain theoretical and shows measurable inputs. Therefore, the funding agencies prioritize these kinds of projects. The next point is that securing funding enables institutions and researchers to contribute meaningful to national and global development. So how? So when researchers secure competitive grants, they are empowered to work on the projects of national and global significance. So these projects don't just generate academic publications, they provide some evidence-based recommendations to policymakers, as well as it helps to contribute to global scientific knowledge, and it obviously builds innovations that can improve the quality of the life and quality of the education, right? The last point is that grants also help build institutional research capacity, attract collaboration, and enhance professional growth. So can you tell me how grants actually improves institutional research capacity? By if I'm a professor or assistant professor in a particular university, if I'm getting a grant for some project, how it will build institutional research capacity? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? So what kind of institutional plus it is gaining? Can you please tell me in the chat box? Any points in the chat box? How? Yeah. Okay, by getting grants, it is useful for showing getting NAC accreditation. Very good. So much of staffs having projects, NAC is going to give preference, right? Innovations. So no, I'm asking how it helps our universities, how it helps our colleges, institutions to get, how institutions are beneficial if these staffs are getting grants. That's what I'm asking. Yes, NIRF ranking, NAC ranking, ABET ranking, NBA ranking, right? So for ranking purposes, our grants are very much useful. Apart from that, research will start in the college with funds, right? Yes. So first, if you are getting grants, our institutions can purchase advanced equipments from the grants, right? Because grants will be given to us through our institution. So institution can purchase advanced equipment. And also institutions can establish research labs or centers of excellence. That is what quality of accreditation. Research will start, yeah. Then hire research assistants and also hire postdoctoral fellows. So having so much of postdoctoral fellow in an institution upgrades the institution's values. And also it fosters interdisciplinary teams. So the main plus for an institution, if we get grant, is that they can purchase advanced equipment, research labs can be established, and many postdoctoral fellows can be enrolled. Also, interdisciplinary teams can be given. So as a whole, it is going to be an upgradation in the quality of the institution, right? So these are going to be the important points that why funding for SDG research actually matters. Yes, so now we have come into the major topic. Excuse me. So these seven are going to be the major national funding agencies. So apart from this, many funding agencies, that is governmental agencies, are there in India, but these seven play a major role in funding, right? So we are going to see the importance of these main seven agencies. So first, let us go to the first one, DST. So what is DST? So DST is Department of Science and Technology. So we are going to see for all the seven in what areas they focus, what is the role of these agencies, and with with relevance to SDG, how they support projects, how they are going to fund us. So that is what we are going to discuss. So if you are aware of this, on the whole year, they are giving a different call for different funding projects, right? So we can give we can submit relevant proposals to them, right? So now let's go to the first one, DST. So DST is one of the premier funding agencies in India that actually promotes research in pure and applied sciences. So it fosters technological innovations and it also supports national level initiatives in many areas such as climate change, space research, and also in many emerging areas. Most of us will be aware of Inspire, right? So this DST funds programs like Inspires for budding researchers like us, right? So Inspire is playing a vital role that DST is giving us. So what is the SDG relevance with respect to DST? So DST actually promotes many multiple SDGs. So particularly it concentrates on SDG-9. So SDG-9 is industry, innovation and infrastructure. And it also particularly concentrates on SDG-13, that is climate action. So if our proposal is with respect to this SDGs, we can just give our proposal and ask for funds for it with respect to DST. So the next one we are going to see about DBT. So what is DBT? DBT is Department of Biotechnology. So the main focus area of DBT is going to be biotechnology, genomics, and the interdisciplinary one, bioinformatics, right? So DBT finds research in biological sciences and it particularly gives importance to fields like vaccines, genomics, agricultural biotechnology, bioinformatics, like that. So it strongly aligns with SDG-3. So SDG-3 is good health and well-being. And it also aligns with SDG-2, that is zero hunger. And it also aligns with the SDG-14 and 15, I think. So SDG-14 and 15 is going to be life underwater and life on land. So this is what the DBT's role is. The next one we are going to see about ICMR. So ICMR stands for Indian Council of Medical Research. So as the name indicates, its focus area is mainly based on medical research, health systems, and public health. So this ICMR is actually the apex body for funding biomedical and public health research in India. So it supports research on mainly on infectious diseases, on communicable and non-communicable diseases, on nutrition, and many other medical innovation. So directly it focuses on SDG-3. SDG-3 stands for good health and well-being. So this ICMR directly focuses on SDG-3. The next one is going to be a UGC. So UGC and AICTE actually provides us much more funds that we can utilize. So we should be aware of many funding projects that UGC and AICTE is providing us. So what is UGC's? Full form is going to be University Grants Commission. So its main focus area is based upon higher education. So higher education is actually a broad band. We can cover higher education by inculcating all disciplines within it, right? So higher education, and it regulates and finances higher education institutions in India. We know that. So therefore, it finds research through programs like MRP. So MRP stands for both minor and major research projects. So many minor and major research project call for is there in UGC website that we can just go through it. So this UGC mainly concentrates on SDG-4. SDG-4 stands for quality education. So this UGC mainly stands for SDG-4. So the next one is going to be AICTE. So AICTE stands for All India Council for Technical Education. So it mainly focuses on technical education and curriculum innovation. So it actually funds projects related to curriculum modernization and research-based teaching improvements. Therefore, it primarily aligns to SDG-4, as I said, for UGC quality education, and it also aligns for SDG-9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So the projects that we can give, we can propose for AICTE can be also proposed for UGC as well as DST. So these three have some common call for always. So the next one is going to be ICSSR. So ICSSR stands for Indian Council for Social Science Research. So this funding agency is mainly for humanitarian-based disciplines. So their focus area is mainly on social science and governance research, and they provide funds in economics, political science, and some public policy related areas. So it plays a crucial role in supporting studies that inform government decision making and also for public welfare programs. So their SDG relevance, that is, they give strong emphasis on SDG 16. So SDG 16 is peace, justice, and strong institutions, right? They also give preference for SDG 10. So SDG 10 is that regarding inequalities, reduced inequality. So they also give importance for SDG 10. The last one is going to be SERB. SERB is Science and Engineering Research Board. So many engineering colleges depend upon the funding provided by SERB because SERB's focus area is mainly on frontier science, engineering, and technology. So SERB promotes high quality research in emerging scientific and engineering fields. So it provides grants like CRG. CRG represents core research grants, and it also provides grants like EMEQ. EMEQ represents empowerment and equity opportunities for excellence in science, I think science, right? So it also provides grants like that. So its relevance SDG field is going to be SDG 9. So like DST, SERB, AICT, UGC, everything gives importance to SDG 9. So if our work is based on industry, innovation, and infrastructure, we can just rely upon these national funding agencies. So these are going to be the 7 national funding agencies. We should always be aware of it, and we should always go through all these 7 websites because nowadays they are giving more fundings for even minor as well as major projects. So we can have a wide knowledge if you are just going through these 7 funding agencies. So next we are going to see about the key international funding bodies. So there are many international funding bodies that are available, but these international funding bodies, they actually give more importance to many developing countries like our India. That's why I have mentioned these international funding bodies. So can anybody tell me what is meant by UNESCO? UNESCO, UNESCO. Can anybody tell me what is meant by UNESCO? Any idea about UNESCO? You can just put it in the chat box. Can anybody tell me what is meant by UNESCO? So right, I myself will tell it. So UNESCO actually stands for United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So I will just show this in detail, so it will be useful because we are always, sorry. I myself will tell it. I think I didn't just have it here, so I myself will tell it there. Yeah. So we are always giving importance to national funding bodies, but many international funding bodies are there. So one among them is UNESCO. Please make note of this because if you just make a note of these notes, you can just go through those websites and you will be aware of many easy funding opportunities they are giving, because always the international funding bodies will totally 100% rely upon the SDGs. So which will be easy for us to indulge in interdisciplinary activities. So please make note of these agencies. So UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So its main focus area is education, science, culture. It promotes global cooperation in education, science, as well as in culture, and it funds initiatives that strengthens educational systems and cultural heritage, right? So therefore, it mainly focuses on SDG 4, that is quality education, and it also focuses on SDG 11, that is sustainable cities and communities. So our project, if it is relevant to sustainable cities and if it is relevant to some cultural heritage, we can just give a which is just try it for UNESCO. It is mainly suitable for interdisciplinary research proposals, especially in digital learning and also in global citizenship. So it gives importance to those. So the next one is going to be UNDP. So UNDP stands for United Nations Development Program. So its focus area is, as usual, sustainable development and poverty reduction. So this UNDP works across 170 countries to tackle poverty, inequality, and climate change. So if you are going to deal with the real life situation, if our proposal depends upon real life problem, we can rely on the UNDP because it promotes. So research working on poverty elevations, livelihood programs, social innovations, and also based on sustainability can approach this UNDP partnership or collaborative grants, because this UNDP gives more importance to collaborative grants, especially international collaborative grants for underdeveloped countries and developing countries. So if you are going to have collaboration with the developing countries such as Indonesia, Africa, and all, they will be supporting us a lot. The next one is going to be World Bank. So World Bank's focus area is mainly based on development, research, and policy impact. So its relevance is going to be based upon policy relevant research or impact on some evaluation studies. So it provides both financial and technical assistance to developing countries for projects that drive economic growth. The next one is going to be Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation focuses mainly on health, education, and agriculture. So this is going to be one of the largest private foundations. So it is a very largest private foundation, and it funds mainly on transformative projects in global health. So what is meant by transformative projects? So a research that is based on vaccine, a research based on vaccine comes under transformative projects. So this foundation gives main importance to transformative projects. Apart from that, it gives importance to agricultural innovation and educational systems in developing countries. So obviously, this Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's SDG relevance is going to be SDG 2. That is SDG 2 is going to be the food security, and SDG 4 quality education, and it also gives importance to SDG 3. That is the impact on global health. It gives importance to SDG 3 also. So the next one is going to be European Union, or it is also called as Horizon Europe. So its focus area is mainly based on societal challenges, technology, and innovation. This EU, that is European Union, its funding program is mainly based on collaborative research addressing societal challenges such as green technologies, AI, digital transformation, and also for societal well-being. So it is suitable for researchers with many international collaborators, and those rely upon multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary research. So this is going to be a large consortium project. It is not for small scale. It is going to be a large consortium one. The next one is going to be GCRF. So GCRF stands for Global Challenge Research Fund. So it mainly focuses on development challenges aligned with all the SDGs. So it is actually supported by the UK government, and it helps to address global challenges like poverty, health disparities, and environmental crises. So it prioritizes research in developing countries. Therefore, it is ideal for collaboration with Indian institutions on poverty reduction, health, or climate change. So this Global Challenge Research Fund actually gives importance to collaborative countries, especially in developing countries. So the next one is going to be Wellcome Trust, that is an UK-based trust. So this gives more importance to biomedical research. So it is very much critical for health science researchers who are working on tropical diseases, who are working on pandemics, or some marginalized communities' healthcare system. So this is highly relevant for them. And the next one is going to be USAID. So USAID stands for United States Agencies for International Development. So its focus area is mainly based on economic growth, and it is relevant for researchers working on scalable solutions with real-world development impact. So especially like healthcare delivery, economic resilience. So these are all suitable for that. So the last one is going to be Newton Fund. Most of us are aware of this Newton Fund because this Newton Fund is actually an India-UK collaborative fund. So research collaboration addressing the global challenges, they can rely upon this fund. So this is actually a bilateral research partnership between India and UK, and it actually supports joint research on mainly on climate change, on sustainable agriculture, public health, and also on many urbanization challenges. So this is specifically valuable for India-UK collaborative research. So if you're having any collaborator who is based on UK, you can just rely upon this fund. This will be very useful for them. So the national funding bodies and the international funding bodies, which I have shown here, just have a click on it. So if you just go through the website, you will be aware of many funding opportunities they are providing us. Yes. So SDG priorities areas in funding policy, because so these four are going to be the main four SDGs that the funding calls are giving priorities for funds. So if our work is depending upon these four SDGs, we can be damn sure that if our proposal is nice, we will be getting funds. So always while starting our research work, make sure that our research work is having some relevance with these four SDGs. That is with SDG 13 climate change, with SDG 4 quality education, and SDG 3 good health, and also SDG 5 that is based upon gender equality. So if our research work is giving importance to these four SDGs, surely if our proposal is of a good format, we can rely upon good funds. Yeah, this is going to be the next major slide. So the types of funding schemes. Most of us are not aware of the different types of funding schemes. Most of us are only aware of the research grants, right? Only research grants, because research grants are actually major projects. So most of us are not getting grants, even if you are giving some good proposals. But apart from these research grants, there are many such grants, such as seed grants, innovative challenge grants, fellowship grants, that we are not making use of it. So we can now see them in detail. I have just represented this in a tabular column so that it will be easy for you to go through it. So what are the types of funding schemes? And we are going to see their purpose, scope, and their relevance. So research grants, we are aware of it. So research grants actually supports, as I said, major research projects. These major research projects should involve substantial investigation. The investigation should not be of a small scale. It should be of a large scale. It should be useful for a larger society, right? And it should also be of some long-term usage. So it is best for researchers with many big clear outcomes, and for researchers whose research work is suitable for large-scale society. The next one is seed grants and startup funds, which is very much useful for researchers who are in the starting stage of research, who are under the age of 40. So these seed grants and startup funds are very much useful for them because it provides many initial funding for early stage, and it also provides fund for many exploratory researches. So the study can be based on some pilot concepts, or the study can be based on some simple collected preliminary data sets, right? So this helps, this grant actually helps to generate many early results to seek a large-scale grant. So if our research work is getting a seed grant, and if we are getting some useful result, we can just have that as a preliminary call for a research grant, a major research grant. So seed grant and startup funds is going to be a preliminary fund that helps us to get a major fund based on research grants. The next one is going to be capacity building projects. So this capacity building projects purpose is mainly to enhance infrastructure and institutional capabilities. So it ensures long-term sustainability of research capacities. Then we can rely upon collaborative research program. Now this is under the limelight because it plays a vital role, because collaborative and interdisciplinary projects is playing a vital role in this research world. So we can rely upon collaborative research program. So this collaborative research program actually supports multi-institutional or internship partnership. It promotes interdisciplinary as well as international research synergy. That is what is important for us. The next one is going to be innovative challenge grant. So this is mainly ideal for startups, especially for many startup innovators and for many societal applications. So many small scale funds are available for this innovation challenge grants. So I have just listed out the national grants now, the national funding agencies. So these national funding agencies are actually giving these types of funding schemes. So these 6 are going to be the major types of funding schemes. And the last one is going to be fellowship and mobility grants. So getting mobility grants is actually a high valuable for budding researchers, right? So these grants actually supports in researchers for development as well as an exchange, and it boosts personal growth skills, and also it helps in many international collaborations. So here I have listed them. Yes. So next we are going to see about aligning research proposals with funding calls. So the first point is going to be carefully analyze the call for proposals to understand objectives. So since we are seeing today about the funding agencies, first we should know how to align our research proposals according to the funding calls, right? So before drafting any proposal, it is crucial to read the funding call thoroughly. We should read the funding call thoroughly. So what and all we should concentrate. So we should concentrate on the guidelines, specifically on their research themes or the focus area that the funding call is mentioning, and their expected outcomes and the eligibility criteria, and also the review criteria for evaluation. So understanding these details ensures that our proposal is not only relevant, but it is also competitive. So this should be the first step. The next step is going to be that most national and international funding bodies prefer projects that address SDGs, right? So for example, if we are proposing a project on water purification, it explicitly connects to SDG-6, right? So it connects to clean water and sanitation. So this alignment helps the reviewers to see the global significance of our research. So whenever we are proposing a research problem, we should be sure that we should concentrate to map our research problem directly to the relevant SDG, so that it will be useful and helpful for the reviewers to go through our research proposal in a highly efficient way. The next point is going to be that highlight societal impact and long-term outcomes. That is, funding agencies prefers projects that go beyond academic interest to have real-world positive impact. So we have to make sure that our proposal answers the questions like who benefits from this research, how will the outcome be useful to solve real world problems, and what are the long-term benefits beyond the project duration. So these kinds of questions and all we will be getting in the funding calls. So we should make sure that our proposal is aligning these questions, right? And the next point is that we have to showcase the expertise of our team members from diverse fields or institutions to demonstrate that a team is capable of tackling the complex problems. So if our project is going to be a team project, we should showcase that expertise of the funding agency, that our team is capable for that. So funding bodies often prefer many multi-institutional interdisciplinary projects, so especially for major research work. So we should be able to demonstrate our team's strength to get those major project funds. And the last point is that a strong proposal actually clearly states scalability, sustainability, and knowledge dissemination. So in short form, we used to term it as SSK. A strong proposal should have SSK. So scalability. What is scalability? Can the project be expanded in the future to benefit a larger group or a new region? This will be the question arised. So this shows the scalability of our proposal. Then they will arise a question that will the project continue to deliver benefits even after the funding period ends? So this shows the sustainability of our work. Even after the funding ends, our proposal, our work will be getting some sustainability goals. It should have some sustainability goals. And they will be asking, how will you share the results through publications or workshops or some community engagement? So this shows the knowledge dissemination, that the knowledge that we have gained through this project, it should be shared in a proper channel. So the proper channel is going to be through some publication, through some workshops or seminars or symposium like that. So what kind of knowledge dissemination you are going to follow? That will be a question arriving from the funding agencies. So whenever we are going to give a proposal, we should carefully manage all these 6 points. So we should give importance to these points. Yes. So success factors in funding applications. So yes, so a strong relevant problem statement linked to that is what we discussed earlier. So a problem statement should be strong. The problem, that is the project that we are going to give for the funding, should be clear and measurable. Teamwork is absolutely necessary for interdisciplinary and collaborative projects. So we should just give that mention that our team is strong. We should showcase it in our proposal. And at the last, addressing the funders' priorities and impact goals explicitly in the proposal. So the funders' priorities we should first go through in depth, and we should address it properly so that they must gain a confidence that our proposal is strong to provide fund. Impact of funding agencies on research directions. So what are the impact of funding agencies on research directions? So the main 6 impacts are that setting priorities. So funding agencies guide researchers by defining key focus areas aligned with national and global challenges. So the first one is going to be setting priorities. The second one is going to be promote collaboration. So they encourage partnership across disciplines and institutions to solve complex problems. The third one is going to be ensure societal impact. So research is expected to benefit society, industries, as well as the communities. And the next one is going to be the grants should help develop infrastructure, labs, and skilled teams, so shaping the future directions. Derive innovations. So special funding promotes converting research into products or some services or startups. So this is going to be the impact of the funding agencies that is going to be asking for the research group, right? And the last one is that many agencies tie research funding to SDGs so that it ensures the global relevance. So this is actually going to be the main impact. So if our research is going to be tied up with the SDGs, obviously they will be providing us funds because they always rely upon global relevance instead of some small societal relevance. So they always rely upon global relevance. So these are going to be the some important useful resources as well as portals. So just make a note of it. So Spark, that is MH Hardy. This is the purpose of main purpose of is that it helps to give us any international collaboration opportunities. Then in DST, this actually encourages and participation in STEM. So many women can make use of this. And then I have given 3 links. The first link, it actually concentrates on centralized access to Indian funding calls. If we go through the link, we can just get access to many Indian funding calls. And the next one is going to be a database that gives us much more knowledge about research funding. The last one is also going to be a database that helps us to get more knowledge about the funding for many scalable and social innovations. So these are some useful resources and yeah.
Ma'am, your voice. Excuse me, ma'am.
The key takeaways of today's session is going to be that we just talked about many national as well as international.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Your voice is breaking, ma'am.
Am I audible now? Am I audible now?
Your voice is breaking.
Even it's now breaking, ma'am. Am I audible?
No, it's still breaking.
Okay, then I'll just off the Bluetooth.
Please rejoin. Please rejoin or
no, I'll just wait. Just cancel the Bluetooth. So I think I'll just speak through speaker itself. Am I audible now?
No, ma'am, you are not audible.
Ma'am, am I audible?
No, ma'am. Vishwa, ma'am, you can rejoin.
Ma'am, actually, I think my line is clear. Am I audible?
Participants, there is some network issue from resource person. So, ma'am is rejoining the session. So, wait for a few minutes.